I meditated for 10 hours straight. No phone, no music, no talking, just me and my brain, and it absolutely wrecked me in the best possible way. Before I tell you what happened, let me be clear. This wasn't some spa day for the mind. It was exhausting, emotional, and at one point, honestly, kind of terrifying. But by the end of it, something shifted in me. And that shift, it's exactly what I want to share with you. Not just what happened during those 10 hours, but what it did to my thoughts, my emotions, and even my nervous system. Let's start with why I even did this. I wasn't trying to become a monk or impress anyone. I did it because my mind was fried. Between work, notifications, social media, group chats, emails, and a million thoughts bouncing around my skull 24/7, I couldn't think straight. I'd sit down to do one thing and end up doing 5 other things, badly. And that scattered, low-key, anxious feeling, it was becoming my default. So I asked myself, what would happen if I removed all the inputs? What if I sat still, completely still, and did absolutely nothing but breathe and observe my thoughts? So I cleared an entire day. No tech, no talking. I set up a schedule inspired by silent meditation retreats, a mix of seated and walking meditation, and I committed to 10 hours. Here's how the day went. I woke up at 5 a.m., started meditating by 5:30, sat in silence until 7, had a quiet, mindful breakfast, then back to sitting, then walking, then lunch, more sitting, more walking, dinner, and then a final long session in the evening. No music, no journaling, no distractions, just silence. Now let me walk you through how my mind reacted during this. Hour 1, absolute chaos. My brain felt like a toddler on caffeine. Thoughts were bouncing all over the place. I'd think about old conversations, YouTube videos I watched a week ago, imaginary arguments that never happened. I could barely focus for 5 seconds. Hour 3, physical discomfort kicked in. My legs hurt, my back ached, and emotionally, I started to feel agitated. My brain kept trying to convince me to quit. This is stupid. You're wasting time. Check your phone. Check the fridge. Do anything but this. Hour 5. Something changed. I started noticing the patterns, the loops, how certain thoughts kept repeating. It was like my brain was running scripts I'd never questioned before. But instead of reacting, I just watched. I let the thoughts come and go, like passing cars. Hour 7. Out of nowhere, I cried. No specific reason, no sad memory, just a release. It felt like emotional pressure I didn't know I was carrying had suddenly lifted. Hour 9, silence. Not outer silence. That had been there all day, but inner silence. My mind wasn't empty, but it wasn't chaotic anymore. Thoughts came slower, softer. It felt peaceful, like my brain had finally unclenched. And when I opened my eyes after that last session, everything looked different. Colors felt more vivid. Sounds were sharper. The air itself felt alive. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's exactly how it felt. Like I'd taken off a helmet I didn't know I was wearing. So what actually happened? Why did this have such a powerful effect? Let's talk about what science says. When you meditate, especially for long stretches, your brain changes. First, the prefrontal cortex gets stronger. That's the part of your brain responsible for focus, planning, and decision-making. Second, the amygdala, which is responsible for stress and fear, starts to calm down. You become less reactive. Third, your default mode network, the part of the brain associated with overthinking and mental chatter, slows down. That's the voice that never shuts up. When it quiets, you feel more present. Even a single session of meditation can lower your cortisol levels, which means less anxiety and more clarity. But here's what I learned. The point of meditation isn't to feel good. The point is to feel everything and to stay with it. It's like training your mind the same way you train your body. When your mind wanders and you gently bring it back, that's a rep. That's the work. And over time, those reps add up. So, what changed after the 10 hours? For one, I noticed a huge drop in mental noise. The overthinking dialed down. I wasn't ruminating over things. I wasn't constantly reaching for my phone. not because I was trying to resist it. I just didn't crave it. My sleep improved. I was less reactive to little things. I even found myself listening more deeply when other people talked. It felt like my mind had more space, but more importantly, I realized something about how we live. We fill every spare moment with noise, podcasts, videos, texts, scrolling, and we call it relaxing, but really it's avoiding. What are we avoiding? Ourselves. And the truth is, some of us haven't sat alone with our thoughts in years, without stimulation, without escape. That's why it feels so hard. It's also why it's so necessary. Now, should you try meditating for 10 hours straight? Honestly, probably not, at least not at first. That's like trying to bench press 300 pounds on your first day in the gym. You'll burn out or injure yourself. Instead, start small. Try 5 or 10 minutes. Sit somewhere quiet, close your eyes, focus on your breath. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently return. That's it. No judgment, just return. It won't always feel profound. Most days, it'll feel boring or frustrating. That's fine. What matters is consistency. Your brain needs that space because peace isn't found in escaping the noise. It's found in making friends with it, sitting in the middle of it without running. And when you can do that, when you can just sit with your mind as it is, you realize something powerful. Your mind isn't broken, it's just overstimulated. And meditation isn't about fixing it. It's about giving it room to breathe. So, would you ever try meditating for 10 hours? Or maybe just 10 minutes? Let me know. And remember, your mind doesn't need to be silenced. It just needs to be seen.